What's up, everyone? It's time for an update on the OVTune base 93 octane tune. Thank you guys for watching my first video of basically the setup and review of the performance tune on with the gear lock for the 1993 octane. And as many of you know, for the past 2 weeks I've been running the base tune. I went on multiple long trips on highways that were hilly and basically with speed limits of 70 plus miles an hour. I ended up running through 2 different gas tank fill-ups, so I gave it enough time to see how I liked it and didn't like it. So this is basically an update on the goods and the bads. Before I start this video, let me start off saying this is my opinion only based on my setup. My truck is not stock setup. I have a 3-inch lift. I have 35-inch tires. I have a bunch of extra weight. You can follow my other videos or Instagram and see everything that's involved and incorporated in my truck to get an idea of my setup. So my opinion doesn't really mean anything to anybody other than myself, and it's based solely on my truck. So please, no one get insulted by any of these videos. No one get skewed ideas. I suggest if you're thinking about the tune, look at other videos with similar setups. Unfortunately, there weren't many videos with my setup, so I made my decision on buying the tune based on other videos, unfortunately with different setups. The best is if you know anybody or can reach out to anybody that you with the tune to take, to get in the truck with them and take a spin and see if you like it or not before you make the decision. So please, no one get insulted. I don't get paid for any of my videos. I don't get free stuff. This is just trying to help others out the same way I like watching other people's videos to get an idea before I buy a product. Of course, for some products, there's not many videos out there or information out there. So hopefully this helps some others with the same setup as mine. Again, this is my opinion only. Doesn't mean much, but if you're interested, please watch the video. Let's get started. There are goods and bads on the base tune. The goods is if you're interested in the MPGs, especially at lower speeds, you will get better MPGs. I found it works best and you actually get decent gas mileage if you're going speeds 60 and below. If you are on highways with speeds 60 and or 65 and above, it's horrible. Shifting it got to the point where I was getting so angry on my long trips, especially on these highways where speed limits were 70 miles an hour and there's lots of ups and downs. Here in Virginia, we have a lot of mountains, especially when you go out west and things like that. So I end up driving through that to get to any trails or anywhere I want to go. So shifting was so bad at a point where it didn't make the truck fun to drive. The stock tune with my setup ran better than the base tune, especially shifting wise and actually fuel economy wise on higher speeds. On lower speeds, it ran perfectly fine, especially if you're running in the city. The throttle response is very sluggish with the base tune with my setup. To the point where it was just kind of, it wasn't fun, and it wasn't something I can live with day to day without easily being able to adjust it. This goes back to my last video where I stated it'd be nice to have something where we could switch on the fly, because I can see myself running the base tune if I'm running driving through the city, through town, through the city, low speeds where I don't really need the throttle response. I don't need to worry about like shifting into sixth gear like on high speeds in the highway, things like that. But with the way it's set up now, I can't sit there and change tunes every time I want to go on a trip, or I want to drive through this and get back into town and want to drive normal city driving. It's just not feasible. So I will definitely be going back to the performance tune and just running that for the time being full time. The base tune's throttle response is I think the main reason a lot of the gas mileage came about is just because the throttle response was very sluggish. With it being very sluggish, you're not really gonna want to sit there and hit the gas to speed around or do anything much. So I was driving a lot slower. It took it definitely took its time to start picking up speed when you hit the gas, and shifting on the highways. It was just a mess. So I'm going back to the performance tune. Which I know on highways did a lot better job shifting, especially at higher speeds. I actually love that tune on my trips that I did when I had it on the truck. So I will be definitely going back, and hopefully they work out some stuff with the base tune for people who don't want to run the performance tune full time. If you can improve the shift points and everything on the base tune without making the throttle response so sluggish, have something like in between the base and the performance tune in terms of throttle response, but have the shifting aspects of the performance tune, and throw in gear lock on the base tune. So if I'm hitting the higher speeds and I need it to go into sixth gear and be less confused, I could throw it into manual sport mode and then just shift it myself and get it into the gears I need it to be in. So that was my big quirk with that tune. It just I got to the point where I stuck it out for 2 weeks so I can give you give you a little more information on the video and be a little bit less biased about it. But today's basically I hit the 2 week mark, and I'm getting the laptop ready to take it out to the truck and just flipping the tune to the performance tune. Again, let me rephrase this. I don't have a stock Tacoma. My setup is different than many of yours. So if you have a stock Tacoma or stock wheels, stock everything, and are running the tune, hey, feel free to throw your opinions down below to help other people who don't have the similar setup as I do and would like a legitimate opinion about it. But if you have 35s, if you have a bunch of extra armor and extra weight, if you have a lift as well, you're going to probably run into what I'm running into. So this is kind of pushing. Well, anyways, the regearing is in the works anyways. How soon is going to be is just how soon I can take time off to actually go down to North Carolina and get it done. But this is kind of swaying me into wanting it to get done sooner. But again, with my setup, base tune to me is just aggravating, and it's not. It took the fun out of driving the truck around. The stock tune is way better, but the performance tune is excellent as far as I was able to tell the 2 week mark. Now I'm going to put it back on and test it out again, check it out. I had a few little blips in the first 2 weeks when I was running the performance tune where the idle a few times when you come to a stop would bounce a little bit for around like 10-20 seconds. Now if that continues, I haven't reached out to OVTune, but if that continues, I'm going to reach out to them and discuss this with them and see if they have anything coming up to correct that. So other than that, shifting was on point. I got great gas mileage on long trips on highways that were 70 plus miles an hour majority of the way with ups and downs and curves. It's not like the Midwest around here where like you have long straightaways. Here in not just the Northern Virginia area, but when I drive out west towards West Virginia and things like that, there's a lot of up mountains, down mountains, curves, different things like that. It's not a very constant incline or anything else like that. So the Performance Tune did great the first 2 weeks I had it on the truck, so I'm gonna switch back and run that for a little longer and continue to see how that progresses. But like I said, a lot of this can be mitigated by having an on-the-fly way to be able to change the tunes, because this way I can literally run the base tune throughout the city when I'm not really worried about having that throttle response, especially if there's no traffic where I need that throttle response. Especially around here with traffic, you need that throttle response to just even get into the next lane and do things like that. So when everything's calm and I can use that, I can run that. And then if I'm decided I want to go on a highway and the speeds are increasing, I can flip it back to the Performance Tune or something like that. That would be one of the best things they can do to this thing to help many of us out. Other than that, that's it for what I got for you on updates on that. I'm definitely changing the base tune. I'll give you more updates on how the Performance Tune continues to do. I love the Performance Tune for the 2 weeks I had it. Other than making the truck a little too lively and making me want to speed more, that's not even a bad thing. The truck was fun to drive with the Performance Tune. It didn't take away anything from the truck. So I'm gonna definitely go back to that for now. Now in the future, if they come up with different updates to the base tune and things like that, I might give those a chance and see how they've improved it. But for now, I'm just gonna stick with the Performance Tune because it works best with my setup. Again, that's with my setup. Now, like I said, if you have a different setup and you ran the tunes, give not only me, just give others your opinion down in the comment section, because there was very little information when I went to buy this tune. So there was only a few people doing reviews. So the more input we can have, the better decisions people can have. So better information people can have to make better decisions before going out and purchasing a tune, especially for people who are on the fence. So throw some comments down. Again, no hurt feelings for anybody, please. This is just my opinion. And so, hopefully this has been helpful for many of you. I know some people reached out and said this was very helpful for them and they're happy for these videos. So I'll continue doing updates for you guys. But remember, this is all just my opinion. So if you don't have to agree with it, but hopefully it's just helping many of the community. So anyways, thanks for watching. See you guys on the next video.